This is Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with this Democracy Now! Special. Last Sunday, thousands of people rallied on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., calling for justice for Puerto Rico, 2 months after Hurricane Maria made landfall. The protesters called on FEMA to act quickly to restore services and for the cancellation of Puerto Rico's debt. They also demanded Congress permanently waive shipping restrictions under the Jones Act. Half of Puerto Rico remains without power. Hundreds of thousands of residents still have no access to clean drinking water. This comes as the head of the Puerto Rico Public Power Company, known as PREPA, resigned after facing widespread outrage and controversy for signing a $300 million contract with the tiny Montana-based company Whitefish, named after the hometown of Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. Last month, under enormous pressure, Puerto Rico's governor, Ricardo Rosselló, instructed Puerto Rico's power company to cancel the controversial contract with Whitefish Energy. Well, we were in Puerto Rico a month ago, just as the cancellation of the contract was being announced. But a few days before, we went to the Roberto Clemente Coliseum, where the San Juan mayor, Carmen Yulín Cruz, and her vice mayor, Rafael Jaume, had just gotten their hands on the contracts and were analyzing the details, yes, of the $300 million deal with Whitefish and another $200 million contract between the power company and Cobra, which is an Oklahoma-based company. So you just got a hold of the both the Whitefish contract
and the Cobra contract, both of them this morning. We got
$300 million contract
and
for Whitefish,
$200 million,
$200 million for Cobra, an Oklahoma-based company. And this is FEMA's statement from this morning.
FEMA's statement on this morning says clearly, the decision to award a contract to Whitefield Energy was made exclusively by Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, PREPA. FEMA was not involved in the selection. Questions regarding the awarding of this contract should be directed to PREPA. Following says, any language in any contract between PREPA and Whitefish that states FEMA approved that contract is inaccurate. Strong words. What about, I'll tell you this one.
And this is a part of the contract.
Article 59 in Whitefish contract. It says, in the event shall PREPA,
in no event
shall PREPA, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, the FEMA administration, the Comptroller General of the United States, or any of their authorized representative have the right to audit or review the cost and profit elements of the labor rates specified herein. That is, you can read it by yourself. That's it. There's no other thing that's black and white.
And this?
And this one says, this is Article 68, penalties, fines, and disallowed costs.
Disallowed costs.
Disallowed costs. By executing this contract, PREPA hereby represents and warrants that FEMA has reviewed and approved of this contract and confirmed that the contract is in acceptable form to qualify for funding from FEMA and other U.S. government agencies. Totally the opposite in contrast what FEMA is saying.
You know what that means? That means that right there, that contract is null and void.
Yes.
It contradicts the laws of the United States of America, and it should be voided right now by the Puerto Rican government. And if the Puerto Rican government does not have the nerve to do what they have to do in order to do things right, then the U.S. government should do it. Because what this means is that we will not get reimbursed for a $300 million contract awarded to a two-employee company that did not have the expertise nor business getting into this business.
FEMA says PREPA wholly approved this.
Yes.
PREPA, of course, is the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority. Did PREPA approve this?
PREPA approved it. I have asked for, actually, the director of PREPA signed it.
Yeah,
I have asked for PREPA to release the minutes of the meeting where this was discussed, but certainly FEMA did not approve this. That means we are not going to get reimbursed by this. And by declaring that, in fact, FEMA approved it, they were lying when they signed the contract.
The head of PREPA was lying.
Both parties. Both parties. Because if I was getting a $300 million contract based on the fact that I would get reimbursed by FEMA, I would have liked that in writing. Amounts much less than that, and decisions much less than that. I've said no until I have it in writing. So that is null and void right there. Right there. There is nothing. You cannot tell a governmental entity that you cannot audit a contract, that you have no right to request a time frame, and you cannot represent things that are not true in contracts. That is just basics of contract law. So this right here, it's null and void.
So you want this, do you want the Whitefish contract nullified?
It should be nullified. It is scandalous. It is an affront on our people. And frankly, again, when I called for this 2 days ago, their response from the Whitefish Twitter was threatening to take away the 44 men and women, I don't know if they have women working, they said men, and 40 more that were coming that day. So they have 84 people working in San Juan, which is the largest city in Puerto Rico. Not only that, now I would want to know, what is the work plan? Well, they don't have to have a work plan. You know why? Because in the contract it states that they don't have to finish anytime soon. So this is a gift of $300 million to two people. That's what this amounts to.
Do you think the head of PREPA should be fired?
Yes. He should have been fired a long time ago. A long time ago. What is beyond me is why the governor continues to say that this man has his support.
And the head of PREPA is?
Ricardo Ramos. Very, 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 very ineffective, very inappropriate, and frankly, somebody that doesn't even know what he's signing.
And the other contract, this is a $300 million contract, then there's a $200 million
with Cobra,
what's called Cobra contract?
That one, I haven't had a chance to look at it. We got it this morning. We went to the comptroller's office.
This also signed by the head of PREPA?
Yes, also signed by the head of PREPA. So it's very interesting because when you look at these contracts, they're already, some of them, I don't know if it's, I think it's this one already has addendums to it. They have already been changes. They've already been changes. You haven't even started.
These are the rates per hour, $400, $500
No,
per hour. So.
Cobra is an Oklahoma-based
Yes,
contract. I don't know if there's any relationship between Scott Pruitt, who's the former Oklahoma Attorney General and now the head of the Environmental Protection Agency.
I don't know either. But what I do know is that 2 and 3 is 5, and there's $500 million in here, one of which is utterly null and void, and it's, very difficult to understand that in the United States, contractual law would allow one of the parties to be taken for a ride, because this is, this PREPA contract is so odious and so not good for the Puerto Rican people.
You're holding the Whitefish contract.
Yes. And not only that, look, it was signed October 17th. I had the page this morning, October 17th. This is a $300 million contract. I hope to God that it has a lot more than these little tiny pages that we have here, because it's unnerving. It truly is unnerving, that people can just swindle an entire population when they are at its most vulnerable.